Good morning, I'm Kenzie and welcome to Dragontrek. Yes, we're night hiking again. Woohoo! We have about 17 miles ahead of us. It will be my longest day yet on the Appalachian Trail. I'll see you after sunrise. So I started at about 1:15 this morning. At 2:15 approximately, I slipped and fell. That's my fourth slip and fall on the Appalachian Trail. And I also have lost balance and fall in a shelter off the Appalachian Trail. And later this morning I was on my way downhill, shifting my weight from tiny stone step to tiny stone step, and I lost my balance and I fell. This morning could have started better. There's been mud and wet, so my feet keep being cold, which is annoying. I continued hiking downhill. We went through a town, saw one of these Appalachian Trail notice boards that I've showed you a couple times, and there were trail magic there. Not a person, but there were stuff that explicitly only was for hikers. I could throw my trash away. I got some water and 2 mandarins. Yummy. I just ate them. There were also a few other things in there, and the water was cold. The bottles were small, but they were in an ice bath so that they would stay cold. I finished hiking through town, and now we're on the uphill portion of the hike. There have been some nice water features, waterfalls, whatnot, that I've seen during the morning, but nothing I could really record. And as I was hiking through the town, reminded me of when I was on my way back home from Disneyland to my motel in Orange. Dark, some lights here and there. Not cold, a nice temperature. I've been doing some rock scrambling, and there's even more and more and more rock scrambling up and up and up. Views. The views are nice. Getting up here was insane. And when I get up here, I see that I'm no longer on the Appalachian Trail. Somewhere I missed a white blaze and climbed up where I was not supposed to climb up. And it's good that I wasn't supposed to climb up that way, because it was insane. No sane person does that. Well, I guess that says something about me. I am going to have to check far out to see where I am and to see how far away from the white blaze. Oh, there's the white blaze. So there was a different route. I couldn't find it. I got up the insane route instead. I'm calling that fine. There's no way the white blaze could have been harder than what I just did. Okay, somehow I got onto the bad weather trail. That route could not have been harder than what I just did. I thought I was on the AT. I checked far out, it said I was on the AT, so I moved forward. I did not see any other route, no other way up the mountain. I put on my long sleeve because it is colder today. I figured out what the bad weather trail was. If the weather is bad, you don't go the insane way, you go the bad weather trail. And then you get up to that cliff anyway. That's... oh, okay. I should also mention that while night hiking, I passed the 1600 mile marker. I didn't see it, but it doesn't really matter because I haven't hiked 1600 miles yet. That's a sign for southbound hikers that they are traveling through the homelands of the Mohican people. We saw that sign a while ago traveling northbound, and that tells me that we're no longer in the lands of the Mohican people. Welcome to Massachusetts. Another border crossing. I'm in Vermont now. Woohoo! Vermont earns its nickname Vermont immediately. Welcome to Vermont, the Long Trail, a footpath in the wilderness. The Long Trail, maintained by the Green Mountain Club, follows the Green Mountain Range for 273 miles north to Canada. White painted blazes mark the trail. Blue blazes mark side trails. The AT follows the LT for 105 miles. Info and guidebooks are available from the Green Mountain Club address and greenmountainclub.org. Everything seemed like normal. I followed the white blazes, and like sometimes happens, there are no blazes. I checked the app, everything is fine. I followed the trail. I checked the app, everything is fine. But the app is pointing to the same location. It's not moving. And I'm continuing onward on the trail that I don't know where it leads, other than north, because the sign said so. I thought they meant this was the Appalachian Trail heading north, because this was the only available trail other than going back. Everybody knows that when you're lost you keep moving, right? Well, no, I know I'm not doing what conventional wisdom says, that you should backtrack, find your way back to wherever. No! A white blaze. Okay, so why wasn't my app updating? And where am I? Wow. Yeah. What do we say to conventional wisdom now? Oh. Vermont absolutely earns its nickname. I mean, I just got into Vermont and there's mud. So some rocks to help me avoid the mud, but it's mud. The trail is more like a water source, a muddy water source, and it just goes on and on. Fortunately, Vermont is not all mud. This is nice and dry. Yes, this is what the trail looks like in Vermont, or at least this part of Vermont. There's a lot of water, a lot of mud everywhere. I'm getting worried again. There hasn't been a single blaze since I started hiking this road. There are some man-made artifacts to make traversing this mud a little easier. But also I had my first water crossing and I forgot to record it before I entered the water or after. What's water crossing, you ask? That's when you have to walk in water to get across. So I took my shoes, socks off. I converted my pants to shorts. Hiked those up as far as I could after entering the water and noticing that I had to. And used my camp shoes. So I didn't have to walk on the ground. Afterwards, I toweled my feet off. I wish I could say that I put them into nice and warm and dry socks and shoes, but no. For the past week, my shoes and socks have been wet, and today too. Oh, one of those. So yeah, I'm forging ahead. I'm continuing forward because we saw what conventional wisdom did last time, and my far out app is not updating. I don't know where I'm supposed to be. Could you update, please? And because even if I'm not on trail, I should be close enough to the trail that you should know where I am. And you should be able to pinpoint that so I can use that to get back on trail in case I'm not on trail. And if I am on trail, you should show my exact location, and you're not. So far out has far out needs to be updated so that it works properly.
Hi, this is Edentin Kensei. After the last sequence, I started getting busy. I discovered I was no longer on trail with the help of the sun and the time watch. I was heading south, not north. You do that sometimes, even though you're northbound. But I got back to the power lines from earlier in the video, and that was way off. My first instinct was to continue forward until I got somewhere, but I decided to head back and do what conventional wisdom tells you to do. I was not alone on that road. Another hiker followed me. We talked for a while, and as he was faster than I am, he quickly outdistanced me because he wanted to get into a shelter. So I thought that he had found a way to get back to shelter because I never saw him again. So I looked for that way too and didn't find it. Only later would I discover that he not only didn't show up at the shelter as others expected him to do, as I expected him to do, he had continued forward. Essentially, things worked out worse for him than for me. I headed back. I looked for his way out, didn't find it, obviously. I got to the water crossing, and since I now knew that this was not the Appalachian Trail, I found a different way to cross the water source, and I could rock hop to stay dry and not have to change. Eventually, I got back to the last place where I saw a white blaze, and the closer to it I came, the more signs I saw that told me that you should not hike on this road. Going down it, I had interpreted that as natural events rather than human influence. Eventually, I got to the shelter. I hurried as much as I could because I wanted to get there before hiker midnight, but I didn't, which would be the first time I get to shelter after hiker midnight. And as you may remember, I started with night hiking. So this was a very long day. I was hiking for over 20 hours. And the wrong turn cost me approximately 6 hours. Well, this should have been my longest day with 17 miles. I had 6 hours or so with however many miles that added for how many miles I actually hiked, even though only the 17 count. It was a long and messy day, but I got into shelter, stubborn much, and I quickly made a bed and tried to sleep.
So keep on trekking.